It's lucky when that sister comes, would you mind going down and get him?
I don't know. What kind?
Shalom. Yahweh Ba'Hashim Yahweh Shabrak Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'Hashim Yahweh Shah to all the Akim and Akwakim out there. This is the Baltimore Sabbath Service. The date is May 6, 2023. We're going to get right into it today. We're going to start in 2 Samuel 4, 5 through 11. Okay, we're going to start in 2 Samuel 4, 5 through 11. And as we do every week, we read in the Hebrew first, and then we go into the English. All right, so 2 Samuel 4, chapter 4. I'll follow along in your blue letter Bibles. All right, 2 Samuel chapter 4, verse 5. Chapter 4, verse 5. We're going to do it in Hebrew first. Where you Lakwa, Bunya, Ramwan, Haba Rafia, Rakab, Waba Aina, Waya Ba'awa, Kaham, Hayawam, Al, Bayath, Ayash, Bashaf, Wahawa, Shakab, Af, Mashakab, Hatazaharium. Verse 6. Wahana, Ba'awa, Aid, Fawak, Habayaf, Lakwakya, Katalyam, Haya Kawa, Al, Hachamash, Warakab, Waba Aina, Akua, Namalatwa. Verse 7. Wayaba, Habayaf, Waha, Shakab, Al, Matafwa, Bahada, Dar, Mashakabwa, Wayakawa, Wayamafawa, Waya Sayarwa, Af, Rashwa, Waya Kwakwa, Af, Rashwa, Waya Lakwa, Darak, Ha'ir Rabha, Call, Halayala. Verse 8. Wayaba, Af, Ra'ash, Ayash, Bashaf, Al, Dawada, Kabarwan, Waya Amarwa, Al, Hamalak, Hana, Ra'ash, Ayash, Bashaf, Bun, Sha'awal, Ayabka, Ashar, Bakwash, Af, Napashka, Wayafun, Yahweh, Dunya, Hamalak, Nakwa Mawaf, Hayawam, Hazah, Masha'awal, Wama Zaraiha. Verse 9. Waya'ain, Dawada, Af, Rakab, Wa'af, Ba'aina, Akyua, Bunya, Ramawan, Haba al-Rafya, Waya Amar, Laham, Khayab, Yahweh Ashar, Padab, Af, Napashya, Makal, Tazarha. Verse 10. Kaya, Hama Gayad, Laya, La Amar, Hana, Math, Shawal, Wahawa, Haya, Kama Bashar, Ba'ayan Yawa, Khaza, Bawa, Raghawa, Bataza Kwalag, Ashar, Lafafia, Lawa, Basharha. Verse 11. Kaya, Anashium, Rashayum, Taza the Yak, Baba Yafiwa, Al, Mashakawa, Hala, Abakwash, Af, Dumwa, Maya, Mayadkam, Waba Rafia, Afkam, Man, Ha'arataza, and that's it. We're now going to be reading in the English, 2 Samuel 4, 5 through 11.
2 Samuel chapter 4, verse 5. And the sons of Rimmon, the Bephroth, the Barathite, Rekab, and Baanah went and came about the heat of the day to the house of Ishbosheth, who lay on a bed at noon. Verse 6. And they came thither into the midst of the house, as though they would have fetched wheat. And they smote him under the fifth rib. And Rekab and Baanah his brother escaped. Verse 7. For when they came into the house, he lay on his bed in his bedchamber. And they smote him, and slew him, and beheaded him, and took his head, and gat them away through the plain all night. Verse 8. And they brought the head of Ishbosheth unto David to Hebron, and said to the king, Behold, the head of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, thine enemy, which sought thine life, and the Most High have avenged my lord the king this day of Saul and of his seed. Verse 9. And David answered Rekab and Baanah his brother, the son of Rimmon, the Bephrothite, and said unto them, As the Most High liveth, who have redeemed my soul out of all adversity. Verse 10. When one told me, saying, Behold, Saul is dead, thinking to have brought good tidings, I took hold of him and slew him in Ziklag, who thought that I would have given him a reward for his tidings. Verse 11. How much more when wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house upon his bed? Shall I not therefore now require his blood of your hand and take you away from the earth?
Excellent. And this just shows how righteous David was. David, people think that, if I do an unrighteous act, to honor, a righteous man or like David, that he would honor that. And David did not honor that. And pretty much their blood was on their own head for when they did an unrighteous act, thinking that David was going to be cool with that. Just like when the man came to David and thinking that, because I slew Saul, he reported that he slew Saul, he thought he was going to get a reward. And David had him killed. All right. And David's doing the same thing to these men. All right. Now we're in 2 Samuel 4, verse 12. And then we're going to be reading 2 Samuel 5, 1 through 6. 2 Samuel chapter 4, verse 12 in the Hebrew. Waya tazawa dawada av hana iryum waya haragwum waya kwataza tazwa af yad yaham wa af ragol yaham wayaf waya falwa al habarakha bacha barwan wa'af ra'ash ayash bashaf lakwakwa waya barwa bakwabar abanar bacha barwan. 2 Samuel chapter 5 verse 1. Waya ba'awa call shabatwa yasha'ala al dawada Kabarwana, Waya Amarwa, La Amar, Hannawa, Salakia. Itazam, Ka, Waba Sharka, Anaknawa. Verse 2. Gum, Afa Mawal, Gum, Shalashwam, Bahayawaf, Sha'awal, Malak, Alyanawa, Atha, Hayayatha, Mawa Tazaya, Waha Mabya, Af, Yasha'ala, Waya Amar, Yahawa, Laka, Atha, Tharaiha, Af, Anya, Ah, Yash'ala, Wa'atha, Thahaya, Lana Gayad, Al, Yash'ala. Verse 3. Wayaba'awa, call, Zaquanya, Yash'ala, all, Hamalak, Habara, Wana, Waya Karaf, Laham, Hamalak, Dawada, Barayath, Bachabarwan, Lapanya, Yahweh, Waya Mashak, Wa, Dawada, Lamalak, Al, Yasha'ala, verse 4. Bun, Shalashyam, Shana, Dawada, Bamalakwa, Ara Ba'ayam, Shana, Malak, verse 5. Bakabarwan, Malak, Al, Yahawada, Shabai, Shunyam, Bashasha, Kadashyam, Wabayara, Shalom, oh, Wabayarashalam, Salaki, Malak, Shalashyam, Shalash, Shana, Al, Kal, Yasha'ala, Yahawada, verse 6, Yalak, Hamalak, Anashua, Yara Rashlam, Yerushalayim, Al, Hayabashya, Shab, Ha'arataza, Amar, La Dawada, La Amar, La Thaba Hana, Kaya, Hasayarka, Ha'ai Warium, Waha Pasakyum, La Amar, La Wayabawa, Dawada, Hana, and that's it. Slack. I think that's sister. Slack. I think that's Sisters of Robin. Would you mind? Yeah, she should be pulling up, right? She should be pulling up. I don't know if it's her or something. You know what I'm talking about? Light skin sister. Con. They'll probably be outside in a second. All right. We're going to be now reading. We'll be now reading 2 Samuel 4, verse 12, and then 5 through chapter 5, 1 through 6 in the English. We're going to read it in the English. All right. 2 Samuel chapter 4, verse 12. And David commanded his young men, and they slew them, and cut off their hands and their feet, and hanged them up over the pool in Hebron. But they took the head of Ishabeth and buried him in a sepulchre of Abner in Hebron. 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 1. Then came all the tribes of Israel to David unto Hebron, and spoke, saying, Behold, we are the bone in thy flesh. Verse 10. And bone in thy flesh means you are a kindred. It's the same thing that Adam said when Eve came to him. This is now my flesh and bone. That's saying that, they're related. Verse 2. Also in the time past when Saul was king over us, thou was he that led us out and brought us in Israel. And the Most High said to thee, thou shalt feed my people Israel, and thou shalt be a captain over Israel. Verse 3. We're in 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 3. So all the elders of Israel came to the king to Hebron, and King David made a league with them in Hebron before the Most High, and they anointed David king over Israel. Verse 4. David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years. Verse 5. In Hebron he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months, and in Jerusalem he reigned 30 and 3 years over all Israel and Judah. Verse 6. And the king and his men went to Jerusalem and unto the Jebusites, the inhabitants of the land, which spoke unto David, saying, Except thou take away the blind and the lame, thou shalt not come in hither, thinking David cannot come in hither. All right, and that's it. All right, so we see that David is a king over all of Israel now. After pretty much all the households and all the people of Saul have been killed. Now David is definitely he's king over all of Israel. All right, now we're going to read 2 Samuel chapter 5, 7 through 13. Let me see. All right, hold on just one second. All right, Salakia. All right, Salakia. All right, we're in 2 Samuel chapter 5, 7 through 13. Shalom. Shalom, shalom, sister. All right. We're going to be reading 2 Samuel 5, 7 through 13. All right. Those that just joined us, and we're in 2 Samuel 5, and we're reading 7 to 13. We're going to read in the Hebrew, of course, and then we'll go into the English. 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 7. Slacky, we got another Bible. Oh, hand that to young brother right there. 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 7 in the Hebrew. Where you lakad, dawadah, af, mataza daf, taza yawan, haya ayar, dawadah, verse 8. Where you amar, dawadah, bahiyawam, hahawa, call, makah, yabasya, where you guy, but taza nawar, wa'af, hapasakyum, wa'af, ha'ayorium, shana wa, the pash, the wada, al, kan, the amarwa, iwar, wana, wa pasak, la'a, yaba wa'a, al, habayaf, verse 9, waya shab, the wada, bamataza da, waya kwara, laha, ayar, the wada, Wayabun, Dawada, Sabayab, Man, Hamalawa, Waba Yatha, verse 10. Wayalak, Dawada, Halawad, Waga the wall, Salakia, Wagada wall, Wayahawa, Alaya, Taza Waf, Imwa, verse 11. Wayashalach, Chayaram, Malak, Tazar, Malachium, Al, Dawada, Wa'ai Taziyah, Arazium, Rakarashia, Aitaza, Rakarashia, Abun, Quayar, Wayabnawa, Bayaf, La Dawada, verse 12. Wayadai, Dawada, Kayam, Hakayanwa, Yahawa, Lamalak, Al, Yasha'ala, Wayakaya, Nashayawa, Mamalakathwa, Ba'ai Bawar, Imwa, Yasha'ala, verse 13. Verse 13. Wayakwak, Dawada, Iwad, Lagashium, Wanashium, Mayara Shalom, Acharya, Bawa, Machabarwan, Wayaladwa, Iwad, La Dawada, Bunyam, Waba Nawaf. All right, and that's it. All right, now we're going to be reading it in the. We're going to read it in the English. We're in 2 Samuel 5, 7 through 13. We're going to read it in the English now.
2 Samuel 5, verse 7. Nevertheless, the stronghold of Zion, the same is the city of David. Verse 8. And David said on that day, whosoever giveth you the and smite Jebusites and land that are David's soul, he shall be chief and captain. Wherefore they said, The blind and the lame shall not come into the house. Verse 9. So David dealt in the fort, and called it the city of David. And David built round about from Millo and inward. Verse 10. And David went on and grew great, and the Most High God of hosts was with him. Verse 11. And Himram, the king of Tyre, sent messages to David, and cedar trees, and carpenters, and masons, and they built David an house. Verse 12. And David perceived that the Most High had established him king over Israel, and that he had exalted his kingdom for his people Israel's sake. Verse 13. And David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come from Hebron, and there were yet sons and daughters born to David.
Right. So, So a concubine was pretty much, I want to say, she was pretty much like I want to say she was like a wife that didn't have like the certain rights or entitlements like another wife would. A concubine was somebody like summoned, like the king would summon you at a certain time of the year when when he needed you. She was a Slacky, sir. Wouldn't it be a concubine like somebody that the king summoned at his will, like a concubine? So I was trying to make sure to confirm the sister. I'll confirm. So you said it was somebody that died in war, a concubine. Slacky sister. I'm gonna have the when Cap comes back, come for it. But I know that I know in the book of Esther, I think she was like a concubine, like somebody that the king picked out and he would summon them, when he wanted them or he needed them. It's like, so somebody that the king would just bring up at his own will. But I never heard of the widow thing, sir. From like a widow, but I'll confirm it too when Cap is in. Come on, Constance. All right, what are we? We're in 2 Samuel 5, 14 through 20. Oh, I got to read in the Hebrew first. All right, 2 Samuel 5, 14 through 20. We're going to read in the Hebrew, then we're going to read it in the English. Wa Allah Shamawaf Hayaladyam Lawa Bayar Rashlam Shamawai Rasha Wabab Wahanaf Salakia Wanathan Salakia Rasha Lama, verse 15. Waya Bakar Wa Allah Yashawai Wana Pag Waya Payai, verse 16. Wa Allah Shamai Wa Allah Yadai Wa Allah Ya Palat, verse 17. Wa Ya Shamaiwa Palashafyam Kaya Mashakwa Af Dawada Lamalak Yerushalayim, Shlakia Yasha'ala Raya'alwa Call Palashafyam Laba Kwash Al Dawada Wayashamai Dawada Wayarad Al Hamataza Wada, verse 18. Wa Palashafyam Ba'awa Waya Natashwa Ba'aimak Rapa Ayam, verse 19. Rayasha'al Dawada Bayahawa La Amar Allah Al Palashafyam Hafafafnam Bayadya Wayamar Yahweh Al Dawada Allah Kaya Nathan Athan Af Hapalashafyam Bayadka, verse 20. Wayaba'a Dawada Baba'al, Paratazayam, Wayakam, Sham, Dawada, Wayamar, Parataza, Yahweh, Av, Ayabya, Lapanya, Parataza, Mayam, Al, Khan, Quara, Sham, Hama, Quawam, Hawa, Al, Paratazayam. And that's it.
20 was the last verse.
Khan.
2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 14. And these be the names of those that were born unto him in Israel in Jerusalem. Shamuel and Shobab and Nathan and Solomon. Verse 15. Ibar also and Elishua.
Which one? Verse 15.
Come.
Verse 15.
Yeah.
Elisha. Khan.
Yeah. And Nepheg and Japhiah. Verse 16. And Elishma and Eliada and Eliphalet.
Khan.
Verse 17. But when the Philistines heard that they had anointed David king over Israel, all the Philistines came up to seek David. And David heard of it and went down to the hold. Verse 18. The Philistines also came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. Verse 19. And David inquired of the Most High, saying, Shall I go up to the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into my hand? And the Most High said unto David, Go up, for I will doubtless deliver the Philistines into thine hand. Verse 20. And David came to Baal Perazim, and David smite them there, and said, The Most High hath broken forth upon my enemies before me, as the breach of waters. Therefore he called the name of that place Baal Perazim.
Excellent. So yeah, I looked it up. It's like concubine was somebody that had lower status than the wife. So so when she was married, so she was with the king. She belonged to the king, but she didn't have the legal status or the legal rights like a wife would.
So I wanted to ask about that question. Was they when the scripture says that he took concubines and wives out of Jerusalem, he's saying that he took concubines and wives out of the house of Israel, or just out of the land of Jerusalem?
I think it would probably be, from Israel, out in the land of Jerusalem.
So if he took wives out of the land out of Israel, do you know if these concubines? How do you acquire a wife with lesser standards than your other wives?
I wouldn't know the answer to that. But do you remember? If you look in the book of Samuel, when Samuel said what a king would be able to do, he said a king would be able to take your wives. Not you take your daughters to serve, or take your wife. Your sons to serve. So as a king, you could take a woman and have her serve whatever status you want. She could be a whatever you would put her at. If you look in the book of Samuel, I'm gonna pull that precept. But when Israel wanted a king, and then Samuel told them this is what's going to happen. Let me see if I can pull that. I'll pull that real quick. Let me see if I can pull that precept. Let me find that precept real quick. Let me see. I think it's. Let me see. All right, right here. It's in 1 Samuel 8. 1 Samuel 8:11. He said, "This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself for his chariots and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots and report certain. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest, and to make instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confessionaries, to be cooks, to be bakers, and he will take your fields, your vineyards. So he was pretty much saying, in verse 16, he will take your men servants and your maid servants and goodliness young men and your asses and put them to his work. So pretty much he was saying the king can take the people of his people and put them wherever he sets them to be. So he can put them at any status he would like. I mean, he could make your daughter a cook. He could take your daughter to be the concubine. So the king would set and he would set and direct how he wanted his kingdom to be. If that answers your question. All right. Let's go to 2 Samuel 5. We're in 21 through 25. All right. 2 Samuel 5. I'm in 2 Samuel 21. All right. We're in 2 Samuel 5, and we're going to be reading 21 through 25. All right. And then we're going to go to 2 Samuel 6. All right. 2 Samuel 5, verse 21. Waya Izabwa, Sham, Af, Itazab Yaham, Waya Sha'am, Dawadad, Wa Anashyawa, verse 22. Waya Satwa, Iwad, Palashafyam, La Alawaf, Waya Natashwa, Ba'aimak, Rapa'ayam, verse 23. Waya Sha'al, Dawadah, Bayahawa, Wayamar La'ah Fa'ila Hasab Al Akar Yaham Waba'af Laham Mawal Baka Al Yam, verse 24. Wayahaya Basha Maika Slakia Basha Mike Af Kwawal Taza Aida Barashya Haba Ayam Azah, Fakharataza, Kaya, Azah, Yataza, Yahawa, Lapanyaka, Lahakawaf, Bama Khana, Palashafyam, verse 25. Waya Aish, Dawada, Khan, Ka Ashar, Taza Wahawa, Yahawa, Ayak, Af, Palashafyam, Bagabai, Aid, Ba'aka, Gazar. We're jumping over to 2 Samuel 6, and we're reading verses 1 through 2. 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 1. Wayasa, Iwa, Dawada, Af, Call, Bachawar, Wayasha'ala, Shalashim, Alak, verse 2. Wayaquam, Wayalak, Dawada, Wayakal, Ha'aim, Ashar, Afwa, Maba'alia, Yahawada, Laha'al Lawaf, Basham Av, Arawan, Hala'ayam, Ashar, Nakwara, Sham, Yahawa, Taza Ba'awaf, Yashab, Hakarabiam, Alyawa, and that's it.
2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 21. And there they left their images, and David and his men burnt them. And the Philistines came up yet again and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim.
Let me stop right there. So I want to explain this. David was doing what the Most High told Israel to do when they went into the land and they attacked the enemy. That when they went into the land and attacked the enemy, they were supposed to burn all of those images, all of those false gods that they had set up. Well, how does that apply today? When you were coming out of Christianity, because I had to come out of it, you have to really burn those images and those ideas of Christianity out of your mind. Because if not, it is going to linger. Christianity, I'll just say for me, it's hard to come out of, because when you grow up in that, you think like a Christian. And I still have to detox and burn that Christian mindset out of my, because it's like Captain Zarek said, this works, okay. When you're in the Christian household, you do not realize that there is a new and a problem. So it's like the same thing, just like this coming through, burning these that are really burning.
And when David inquired of the Most High, he said, thou shalt not go up, but fetch a compass behind them, and come upon them over against the mulberry trees. Verse 24. And let it be, when thou hearest the sound of a going in the tops of the mulberry trees, that then thou shalt bestir thyself. For then shall the Most High go out before thee to smite the host of the Philistines.
And another thing I want to say is that this is the Most High is a man of war. It says that in Exodus, and you can even see how he's a man of war here, because David's even being informed of how to take and go to war, because the Most High is a man of war. He's not the cupcake power that we always think of on TV, the marshmallow power. He's not. He's a God of war. All right, and if you can see here, he's even directing David how to go to war. Go ahead.
Verse 25. And David did so, as the Most High had commanded him, and smote the Philistines and Salaki. And David did so, as the Most High had commanded him, and smote the Philistines from Geba until thou come to Gazar. Chapter 6, verse 1. Again, David gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. Chapter 2, verse 2. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baal of Judah, to bring up from thence the ark of the Most High, whose name is called by the name of the Most High of hosts, that dwell between the cherubims.
That's it. I think that's it.
That's it.
All right, let's go ahead and keep reading. We're going to read 2 Samuel 6, 3 through 9 in the Hebrew. 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 3. Waya rakabwa af arawan hala yum al gala hadasha raisha hawa mabayaf abay nadab like ashar baga ba'aiha wa ha'aiza'a wa akhayawa like wa akyawa like bunya abay yanadab nahagyam av ha'aigala kadasha. Verse 4. Waya sha'ahawa mabayaf aba yanadab ashar baga ba'aiha arawan ha'ala hayam wa achyawa halak lapanya ha'arawan. Verse 5. I'm not sure it's like this. It might be down. I don't know. It might be in the back. Come. Verse 5. What dawada what call bayat yasha'ala masha kakyum lapanya yahawa bakal itazaya barawashyam waba banak salaka waba kanar waf waba nabalium waba thatyum waba naayam waba tazalyum. Verse 6. Wayaba awa I garun nakawan reshalak Isaiah all arawan ha'alayum wa I akyaza bawa kaya shamatwa habakwar. Verse 7. Wayakar apa Yahweh ba'izah wayakawa sham ha'alahayum al hashal wayomath sham ein arawan ha'alahayum. Verse 8. Wayakar ladawada al ashar paraktaza Yahweh paraktaza ba'izah wayakora lama kwam hahawa paraktaza Isaiah I hayawam hazah. Verse 9. Wayara'a dawada af la Yahweh bayawam hawa wayamar ayak yaba awa alya arawan Yahweh. And that's it. You want more? Okay. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and read 2 Samuel 6, 3 through 9 in the English.
2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 3. And they set the ark of the Most High upon a new cart and brought it out of the house of Abinab that was in Gibeah, and Uzed, and Ahio, the son of Abinab, drave the new cart. Verse 4. And they brought it out of the house of Abinab, which was at Gebel, accompanying the ark of the Most High. And Ahio went before the ark, and David and all the house of Israel played before the Most High on all manner of instruments made of firewood, even on harps and on, I don't know what that is, psalteries, and on timbrels, and on cornets, and on cymbals. That's right.
Con.
Verse 6. And when they came to Nacon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of the Most High and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. Verse 7. And the anger of the Most High was kindled against Uzzah, and the Most High smite him there for his error. And there he died by the ark of the Most High.
Now, let me explain this real quick, because let me explain this in a historical context. Okay, in his historical context. Well, actually, we can even compare this to today. I cannot walk into the Oval Office of the president. I would get shot. Actually, I was on the presidential compound one time, and I was actually joking with the what are they called again? The security people. The security people, that protect the president. And I was joking with them. And Michelle Obama's compound was next door. And I asked them, I said, so if I jumped over this gate and just walked towards Michelle Obama's compound, would y'all shoot me? And they were like, yeah, we would. And they were laughing about it, but I knew they were dead serious. So historically, you couldn't just touch a throne of a king. You couldn't even be before their presence unless you were summoned. So people are looking like, well, why would somebody get killed because they touched the ark of the Most High? I mean, well, that was the throne that represented the throne. So you couldn't just touch the Ark of the Covenant. You couldn't, you couldn't touch it, or you would get killed. So that's why people were getting killed if they touch. That's why Uzzah died, because that's a form of disrespect. You can't just come before a king. Even in the Gentiles, you couldn't just come before a king unless you were summoned. All right, so that's why Uzzah died. All right, go ahead.
Nacor's threshing floor, verse 6.
Come.
Who is Nacor?
I wouldn't know who Nacor. I'm not sure. I can't remember who he is. Nacon's threshing floor. I can't remember who he is. I'd have to read a little bit more.
Threshing floor is a threshold, though, like something you pass.
I'm thinking so. I believe so. But I'll read a little bit more to see if I can remember context.
Verse 7. And the anger of the Most High was kindled against Uzzah, and God smite him there for his error. And there he died by the ark of the Most High. Verse 8. And David was displeased, because the Most High had made a breach upon Uzzah, and had called the name of the place Perez Uzzah to this day. Verse 9. And David was afraid of the Most High that day, and said, how shall the ark of the Most High come to me?
All right, excellent. All right, let's read 2 Samuel 6, 10 through 16 in the Hebrew, and then we're going to finish off in the English. 2 Samuel verse 6, verse 10. All right. Abaha, Dawada, Laha, Sayar, Aliyawa, Arawan, Yahweh, Ayar, Dawada, Wayatawa, Dawada, Bayah, Ibad, Adawam, Hagathya, verse 11. Wayashab, Arawan, Yahweh, Bayah, Ibad, Adam, Hagathya, Shalasha, Hadashiam, Wayabarak, Yahweh, Av, Ibad, Adam, Wa'af, Kal, by Yahweh. Verse 12. By your God, La Malak, Dawada, La Amar, Barak, Yahweh, Av, Bayath, Ibad, Adam, Ba'ah, Kal, Ashar, Lawa, Ba'ai, Bawar, Arawan, Ha Alahayim, Wayalak, Dawada, Wayal, Af, Arawan, Ha Alahayim, Mabayaf, Ibad, Adam, Ayar, Dawada, Basha, Macha. Verse 13. Wayahaya, Kaya, Tazaiwa, Nasha'awa, Arawan, Yahweh, Shasha, Tazayim, Wayazabak, Shawar, Wamarayawa, Slakia, Wamarya, Slakia. Verse 14. Wayadawada, Makarakwa, Salakia, Salakia, Bakal, Isaiah, Lapanya, Yahweh, Wada, Chagawar, Apawad, Bad, verse 15, Wada, Wakal, Bayath, Yasha'ala, Ma'alyam, Arawan, Yahweh, Batha Rawaiha, Waba Kwawal, Shawapar, verse 16, Yahaya, Arawan, Yahweh, Ba'ah, Ayar, Dawada, Wama Yakal, Bath, Sha'awal, Nasha Kwapa, Ba'ai, Hakal Walayam, Hakala 1, Wa'athara Af, Hamalak, Dawada, Mapazaz, Wapakorak, Lapanya, Yahweh, with a bad, with a bazaar, Lawa, Balaba, and that's it. Let's see, 10 through 16.
Come. 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 10. So David would not remove the ark of the Most High unto him into the city of David. So David would not remove the ark of the Most High unto him into the city of David, but David carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom, the Gittite. Verse 11. And the ark of the Most High continued in the house of Obed-Edom, the Gittite, 3 months, and the Most High blessed Obed-Edom, and all his household. Verse 12. And it was told King David, saying, the Most High have blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all that pertaineth unto him, because of the ark of the Most High. So David went and brought up the ark of the Most High from the house of Obed-Edom into the city of David with gladness. Verse 13. And it was so, that when they had bare the ark of the Most High had gone 6 paces, he sanctified oxen and fatlings. Verse 14. And David danced before the Most High with all his might, and David was girdled with a linen ephod. Verse 15. So David and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of the Most High with shouting and with the sound of the trumpets. Verse 16. And as the ark of the Most High came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through a window and saw King David leaping and dancing before the Most High, and she despised him in her heart.
Excellent. All right. All right. Let me just see. All right. Khan, Sister Slacky. Khan.
When he said that one,
Khan.
okay, he said the ark of Yahweh had
Yahweh. Go ahead.
6 paces.
That's when they walk. So, okay, so the reasons one of the reasons why the first guy, Uzzah, died is because the ark of the Most High was not supposed to be carried on a cart. it was supposed to be carried by the priest. So when they had it on a cart, it started to pretty much the ark was tilting, and then Uzzah came and trying to, he was trying to be, I guess, the hero. He wasn't supposed to touch. He touched it and he died. Okay, but the truth is, when David and them came the second time, the priests were actually holding the ark by the poles, the staffs that were in it. So when it said they walked 6 paces, that's when they stopped, and David and them were making sacrifices. That's what it meant, 6 paces. Because at this point, when they were coming in, the priests, they were doing what they were supposed to do. The order was that the priests are supposed to carry the ark. It wasn't supposed to be on a cart when you bring it. It's supposed to be carried. Just like if you're going to think it historically, you've probably seen. I probably wish I could show a picture. I'll show you after class. Historically, when a ruler was going out somewhere, he would have something called a leader, and the men would carry. You know what I'm talking about, those carrier thrones, and the men would carry the ruler, and he would have a veil that was covering him. But the men would carry him. It's the same way that the ark. You had to carry the ark. You weren't supposed to have it on no oxen. So when they carried it 6 paces, if that answers your question, sister. And Obed-Edom was a priest as well. They had it, and it was in his household. But he was a priest. The guy Uzzah wasn't a bad. He just disobeyed, the Most High. He just disobeyed. He wasn't supposed to touch it. He touched it and he died. But Uzzah wasn't bad either. But Obed was a priest. They held it at his place until David brought it to the city. Come.
So 6 paces is when people carry.
Yeah, they pretty much just think of it 6 steps.
6. Oh, say.
Yeah, so when they were walking,
is they 6 steps at a time.
Yeah, well, it just says when they walked 6 paces, that's when they stopped and they were doing, sacrifices and stuff like that.
So they walk 6
yeah,
paces.
they just was walk. Yeah, they walked forward. All right. All right. All right. Imanium. Swati. La Yasha'Allah.
Ya la sha'ala.
Ya La Sha'Allah.
Ya la sha'ala.
La Yasha'Allah.
La ya sha'ala.
Right. Men of Israel, gird up thy loins and prepare to salute the Torah. Yahweh Bashem Yahshabrak Yah. Right.
How about sing y'all Shabbat? Yeah.
Always works for the generals out here. All right, this is for everybody. Imadium, which means to stand.
What panya? Yakwada.
Yakwadam.
Yakwadam. Aquadam. Rise and face the east, which means rise and face the east.
We're gonna read the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Then we're gonna read in the English. The Lord's Prayer. Abanau.
Abanau.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Wadash.
Wadash.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahau.
Yahau.
Malak Waska.
Malak Waska.
Laba'ah.
Laba'ah.
Ritazayka.
Ritazayka.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Ba'aratiza.
Ba'aratiza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shemayim.
Washamayim.
Nathan Manau.
Nathanael.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Call.
Call.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalak now.
Wasalak now.
Kabawak now.
Kabawak now.
Kasalak now.
Kasalak now.
Kabawak now.
Kabawak now.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Labi'ayin now.
Laba'ayin.
Manasaya 1.
Inside one.
Abal.
Abal.
Hawashai now.
Hawashai now.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Ra.
Ra.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Amalakwa.
Amalakwa.
Waha'ala.
Waha'ala.
Waha'ara.
Waha'ara.
La'aywalam. Aman.
Aman. And in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
On earth,
On earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day
Our daily bread.
our daily bread.
And forget us our debts.
Forgive us our debts
As we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not
And lead us not
into temptation.
to temptation,
But deliver us.
but deliver us
From all evil.
from all evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom
And power.
and the power
And the glory.
and the glory
Forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it. This is Hakat, the power. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashim Yahushua.
By Hashem Yahushua.
Baba Kusha.
Babu Kusha.
Mathanlanau.
Nathanael.
Hakat.
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 Larapa'ah.
Rapa'ah.
Kamakala.
Kamakawa.
Wakol Marawa.
Wakol Marawa.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Latahar.
Latahar.
Hamatazarayim.
Hamatazarayim.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Lahakim.
Lahakim.
Hamakim.
Hamakim.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Araka Awaf.
Arakawa.
Hatama'ala.
Hatama'ala.
Lagarishan.
Lagadurishan.
Bahashim Yahushua.
By Hashem Yahushua.
Lawaraman.
The water of mine. And in the English. And in the name of Yahushua. Salaki. Yahweh in the name.
The Yahweh in the name.
Karamaka. Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse.
The power to cleanse.
The lepers.
The leper.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean
The
spirits.
power against unclean
To
spirits.
cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you so big.
Thank you, so be it. This is the blessed Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashim Yahushua.
By Hashem Yahushua.
Baraklanau.
Baraklanau.
Wayasha'ala.
Wayasha'ala.
Wahabayah.
Wahabarak.
Sapari.
Sapari.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Hashem Yahushua.
The water Aman.
The water of mine. And in the English. Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Bless us in Israel.
Bless us in Israel
And the school.
and the school.
Bless, heal, shield.
Bless, heal, shield,
Protect.
protect.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you so big.
Thank you, so big. These are the blessings. Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Wa Yahushua.
Wa Yahushua.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Allahayim.
Wa Allahayim.
Matazab Ya'ah.
Wa Tabdab Ya'ah.
Alawat Yahana.
Alawat Yahana.
Ha Alawatyam.
Ha Alawatiyim.
Hasaranyam.
Hasaranyim.
Hakwatazayanyam.
Hakutazayamyam.
Hakayayoyam.
Hakakleoyam.
Hawa. Wa Ha'akwatyam.
Wa Ha'akwatiyim.
Yahweh.
Bahawa.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Bahashim Yahushua.
The water Aman.
The water of mine. And in the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angel.
And the angel.
Commanding General Yahana.
Commander General Yohana.
The general.
The general.
The captain.
The captain.
Officer.
The officer.
The troopers.
The trooper.
And the sisters.
And the sister.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you so big.
Thank you, so big. This is Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Aisha.
Aisha.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Ahahariam.
Ahahari.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Yaba'a.
Yaba'a.
Isari.
Azari.
Isari.
Azari.
Ma'ayin.
Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shamayam.
Shamayan.
Wa'aratiza.
Wa'aratiza.
Al-Yathan.
Al-Yathan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Regalka.
Regalka.
Al-Yanawam.
Al-Yanawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Hana.
Hana.
La'a.
La'a.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yigishan.
Yayashan.
Shawamar.
Shamamar.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamar.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazal.
Al-Yah.
Al-Yah.
Yamyanka.
Yamyanka.
Yawamah.
Yamawam.
Hashamash.
Hashamash.
La'a. Yakaka,
Yakaka,
where you rock,
Wayara,
Balayala,
Wayala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamar,
Makora,
Makora,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Aknapashka,
Napashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Taza Aska,
Saza,
Wawaka,
Waba Aka,
my Aitha,
Ma'ita,
what I,
what I,
Awalam,
Alawam,
Aman.
Aman. And in the English, I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hill.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help coming from Yahweh,
My help coming from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee,
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel,
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going
and
out
thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it. This is Psalms 83. Al-Hayim.
Alahayim.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al Dalama Yakar.
Al-Thakarash.
Al Takarash.
Wa al-Thashakwa.
Wa all Dakakwash.
Al.
Al
Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Awayabyaka.
Awayab Yaka.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahami Yawan.
Woman Shanayaka.
Woman Shanayaka.
Nashawa.
Nashawa.
Ra'ah.
Ra'ah.
Al-Imaka.
Al Imaka.
Ya'ira Yamwa.
Ya Irayamya.
Sawad.
Sawad.
Where you throw your eye to the what?
Where you think your eye to the what?
Out the top of one yaka.
Out to top of one Yaka.
Amarwa.
Amar.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
When a cockina.
When a cocky.
Magolia.
Golia.
Well,
Well, a
Yasakar.
yes, a car.
Sham Yasha'al.
Sham Yasha out.
Iwa.
I wa.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Now, what I tell what?
Now your eye to the what?
La.
La.
Yakadwa.
Your cut what?
Ayaka.
Out your cut.
Barya.
For ya.
Yakarafwa.
Your corrupt.
Ahol.
A hole.
Adawam.
Out of one.
Washama Alayam.
Where your Shemai out of one.
Wama Aba.
Well, a other.
Wahagarian.
With Hagari.
Gabal.
The ball.
What I'm one.
Well, I am one.
What I'm a lot.
Well, I'm a lot.
Kalasha.
Color shop.
I'm your Shabya.
I'm your shovel.
Taz of war.
Tons of war.
Gum Ashawar.
Gum I should war.
Nalawa.
Now the what?
Imam.
Amon.
Hayawa.
How you what?
Zarawa.
Zarawa.
Labunya Lawa.
Labanya la what?
Salah.
Salah.
Aisha Laham.
I shall ha.
Kamadian.
Kamadian.
Kasa Yasara.
Kasa yes is ra'ah.
Kayabyan.
Kayamyan.
Manakal.
When a call.
For Yashwan.
For Yashian.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Ba Ayanda Ara.
By Ayanda Ara.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
The man.
La Adama.
La Adama.
Shayatamwa.
Yashadamu.
Nadayabawa.
Na the mob bawa.
Ka'ira.
Ka Arab.
Kazaba.
What
Salaki, let me say the word. Wakazaba.
Wakaza Abba.
Wakazabak.
Wakazaba.
Wakazomana.
Wakaza Zolama.
Kona Sayakamwa.
Kona Saya Kamnawa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Na Yerusha.
Na Yashar.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Ah.
Na
Na'awa.
Awa.
Alahayim.
Alahayan.
Alahaya.
Alahaya.
Shayatamwa.
Shatatamwa.
Kagogala.
Kagogala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya Raka.
Lapanya Rakwa.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
Faba Ira Ya Ira.
The Ba'ayr, your ayah.
Walakalahaba.
Wala Kala Abba.
Falahat.
The Lawat.
Hariam.
Hari.
Khan.
Khan.
The Radatma.
The Radatma.
Wasa'iraka.
Basarayaka.
Wasapafka.
Waba Sabakafka.
Fabalaham.
The Balawant Hum.
Mala'a.
Mala'a.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Kualawan.
Kualawan.
Wayabakwashwa.
Wayabakwashwa.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Wayabahowa.
Wayabahowa.
Ayai.
Ayahad.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayadaiwa.
Waya the Iwa.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Atha.
Atha.
Shamka.
Shika.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Labadka.
Labadka.
Al-Yawan.
Al Yawan.
Al-Kal.
Al Kal.
Ha'arataza.
Yaharataza.
Aman.
Man. And in the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still,
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee,
They that hate
have
thee
lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty
against thine people.
Against thy
And Let
us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Israel no more remember. They have the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarene, the Baal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. And as to Jabin. At the brook of Kishar. Which perished at Endor. They become as dung for the earth. Make the nobles like Oreb. Like Zeb. Yea. All the princes of Zabak. And as Zalamuna. Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as stumble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame set up the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thine tempest, and make them afraid with thine storm. Fill their faces with shame. And they may seek thy name. O Yahweh. Let them be confounded. And trouble forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know. That thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. So be it.
These are the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
And
all things
live.
Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Listen to us now. Right now. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. That speak against us. Thy prophet. The teachers. The princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. And the school. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. And shake loose the treasure. Of the rich of Israel. That refuse to give to the school. Force their riches. To enter to thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the Edomites. And the nation. And their drug dealers. The court system. The prison system. Planned Parenthood. All the governments of our enemies. Amalek synagogues and arms. Roman Catholic Church. The Pope. Islam. Christianity. Egyptology. Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinhead. Posse Comitatus. Gay move. The lesbian move. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. NASA space program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airways. Cable access channel. And the radio channel. Convict the spirit. Of any of thy people. That seek to stop us. And bring swift destruction. To all the heathen. That stand in the way. Or try to stop us. From broadcasting your word. Throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro. Through the earth. And consume thee. Let the plague. Shake the house of the thief. And the murder. Let Yahweh Shah. Michael and Gabriel. Come down with the flying sauce. And punish all the heathen. That come up against us. As we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all. That is the angel. That have done it. Cause it to be spread. Through the media. Throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you always. So be it. Sar, which means to turn. Sisters, Yeshavium, which means to sit. this concludes the service.
We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Saw, which means turn. Amadium Shabbat. Amadium. Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yayimatat. Sar. We're going to give one. Sisters Amadium. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Amadium Shabbat. Amadium. Barak.
Yahweh Shema Alatham Ba'Shem Yahshua.
Yayimatat. Class dismissed.
Slack it, sir. Slack it. For water. Kelly.